Namaste. Hello, everyone. Okay, we're here to do an amazing advanced lecture on how to talk to your spirit guide. So we're going to go deep and meaningful into discussion about spirit guides. How did they discern whether you're talking to your spirit guides, ghosts, or other evil entities, and how to get rid of them, as well as many other things. So my name is Carmen Satosha from Healing the Planet from Within. And since I was a child, I was listening to voices inside my head, and they've always guided me. And throughout the years, I have learned a lot of different techniques on how to talk to spirit guides and how to avoid the negative ones. So, and I also run a program for people, and I'm writing a book on how to talk to your spirit guides and not ghosts. Today, I'm super excited to have Tim with me here. This is, how do I say? Can I say I call you a warlock?
Yeah, I'm like a jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tim. The main thing I do is channeling. Really, I use channeling for everything: healing, cursing, hurting people, helping people. That's pretty much it.
Getting rid of bad things.
Yeah, that's in line with exorcisms. It's not reading from a book. It's you do everything in most people call it mind magic.
Mind magic. Oh wow. Okay, I haven't actually heard that term, but yeah, I avoid books to get this knowledge. I got a lot of people saying, like a lot of clients coming, oh, read this book. You got to read this book to get the psychic ability. I went, no, actually, I'm gonna avoid these books. I get my own psychic abilities and ideas from spirit.
Books are good to give you ideas, but you can't take any book as fact because every book is someone's opinion.
And their own experiences, which is limited.
Exactly.
Because they're in a physical body, they're limited, right? So,
even some people could write books and be channeling while they wrote, but it's still their viewpoint, no matter where it comes from. It's good to get a lot of viewpoints.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so let's see where we're going to steer this now. So talking about spirit guides, I think a hot topic with spirit guide communication is how to discern the difference between, what a good spirit is and what a bad spirit is. So what would you recommend with that one?
Well, step one, trust your instincts. Like your soul will tell you what you're talking to, if it's helpful or not. If it's confused, chances are it's not something good.
Absolutely. And that comes up a lot for my clients as well. They suddenly feel this channeling coming through, and then suddenly they're thinking, oh, I'm getting so confused. What's happening? And they're feeling a fog of mind, fog, blanket, negative energy. And I said, darling, they're blocking you from something.
Yeah. If it's helpful, it won't take over. They'll when you channel something helpful, it blends with you. It doesn't overpower. If it's trying to overpower, it's not good.
So when you say overpower, to me in my mind, I think that's like projecting a negative thought and trying to control your mind, manipulating your mind.
Yeah, basically making your consciousness submissive.
That's a good way of saying it. Yep. Okay. And you've worked with a lot of different negative beings over the years.
Yeah, I learned from them in the beginning. That's how I learned to identify them.
Well, then you'd be really quite good at identifying all of them. So if you want to tell us, I know in our last conversation, you mentioned something like archdemons, but I've never heard of archdemons before. What are they?
Oh, you know what an archangel is, right?
Yep.
Same thing, just opposite. They're the generals of the fallen angel army, basically.
Okay. What is their purpose? What do they do?
Well, they're corrupted now, but their original purpose was to protect humanity.
Okay. And they're corrupted. So these beings, these energies can be corrupted?
Oh, yeah, anything can. The Christian God was corrupted. All of them were. I've been busy. I can't get rid of it, but there's a group of mother goddesses that have, to me, it looks like a silver river where they bathe the corrupt ones in. And over time, like it cleanses all that shit out of them. I'm not allowed to
Okay.
take part now, but
You're not allowed to take part now. Okay.
well, no, I'm just too small of a being.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
This is like, 10th dimension and higher beings only.
Okay. So 10th dimension beings. So and what, like, I mean, we're looking at, I don't know, what dimension are we at right now?
3.
We're in 3. Some people say we're at 5th dimension.
Some people say we are, but show me a single 5th dimension being walking around on Earth.
All right. What would a 5th dimensional being do then on Earth?
To give you an idea, Jesus was a 6th dimensional being.
Okay. 6th dimensional being can perform miracles.
Can raise the dead, can come back from the dead.
Yeah.
They can do a lot of stuff. And if that kind of thing was walking around, it would be all over the news.
It would be noted well unless they're quiet about it. I've heard there are some, like in India, the Indian gurus and yogis, but they're up in the Himalayan mountains, and good luck finding them. They come to you.
Right, but most of them, they get it through the same means as the rest of us, through channeling higher powers. They know how to make their soul more complete than it is in a 3-dimensional body.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't, I mean, in the 4th dimension alone, you have, elves and orcs and dragons and demons and elementals. You don't see none of them. If we were in 5D, everything that was 4D would be here. And you would be able to walk out your front door, open the door, and go to the 4th dimension if you want.
So you'd be able to time travel, teleport, and all that kind of thing.
I don't know, time travel is a whole different subject, but teleporting, yes. You could go through one door and come out another door anywhere on Earth. Like, hey, I feel like being at the beach today, so that's where I'm going.
Nice.
We can't do anything like that.
No, so we couldn't be in 5th dimension.
We can't even be in the 4th yet.
Yeah, okay. But we may be soon. Well, hopefully.
We will be. There's competing, let's call them competing realities. There are different versions of what people want reality to be on Earth when the shift happens.
Absolutely.
Some people will leave Earth and then the screwed ones are stuck here and Earth doesn't change. That's one option.
Yeah.
If the corrupt things win, then it's going to be like chain gang slaves for all humans.
Oh, that doesn't sound like much fun. I don't want that one thing.
Nobody likes that.
I don't want that one. No.
But the one I'm working for is where the 4th and the 3rd dimension, basically the physical and the astral plane, are intimately connected, so you can go back and forth.
If you can go back and forth, you can teleport, you can change your body, you can perform magic, and we'd see it in front of us. Yeah.
The moment you see people, like normal people who don't know anything, start winging fireballs down the street or getting pissed off and exploding a building, these are the signs you want to look for. When people who don't know what magic is suddenly get it.
That is like cool. Okay.
Like, look at any of these TV shows about superheroes. When they first get their powers, they're destructive. They don't know what the hell's going on.
Yep.
That's what you're going to see.
Okay. Well, that sounds like fun. I love this idea. I think it's fantastic. I can't wait to get there. So, and I kind of felt that all my life. In fact, it was 20 years ago, I was doing a trance state meditation walk. Like, it's an altered state of consciousness, and I could see beyond time and space. And they were telling me that at one point in time in this life, you're going to be able to teleport from this place to that place with ease. And I was like, oh, that's nice. So it was 20 years ago, I knew this was coming. And it gets, more and more exciting as we see the shifts and change on the planet. But I'm curious now, people right now are still in the 3rd dimensional reality and 3rd dimensional mindset. So they want to know how to talk to the spirit guides. How many of these beings do you think are around a person at one time?
It depends on where they are, to be honest. There's more in cities than there is out in the wilderness. So the more people you live around, the more of these you run into, because let's face it, predators go where the food is.
That's true. That's true. And angels, I mean, we could talking about this positive and negative beings next to us all the time, I think.
Yeah, there's both. It's just depending on the more positive a being is around you, the less negative you will have, and vice versa.
Hmm.
If you're a messed up person, you're not going to have any positive entities around you because they don't like you. It's
No,
not that they don't like you; they don't like your energy.
well, they can't handle the energy, can they? They have to, so you
No,
have
it
to,
slowly kills them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So one of the steps in my program is to raise your energy vibration so that when you do talk to someone, it's a positive, you're stepping into higher vibration. You're not talking to the negative straight away.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. It's just to a person who doesn't understand what that means, that's gibberish. They're like, "What do you mean, raise my vibrations?"
Well, that's why
You
I
know,
teach them how to do that as well. Like, I mean, you've got to
well,
step into
yeah,
positivity. We're talking about altruism, benevolence, love, gratitude, joy, those types of things. Yeah, and the
yeah.
different techniques. Hmm.
Like look up the teachings of Buddha or Jesus or Moses, any of the great prophets. They all tell you how to
They
be a
all
good person,
tell you.
and no one listens.
No one really cares. Even I've got some ladies in my business online strategies course at the moment. I'm teaching energy healers how to, be online. And I've got them raising their energy vibrations with a few different, I call them positivity activations, a gratitude journal and being consciously aware of your thoughts and flicking them to something positive. Well, thoughts don't have an energy vibration, but even just to be grateful in the moment or step into joy or benevolence or kindness. And all of them are skipping that part of the program and just going to the other aspects of it. And I'm thinking, you're energy healers. You need to know this stuff. Like, this is vital, or you're going to attract the negative energies to you. I mean,
Every, yep, everyone wants to learn how to do it, but not the things that keep you safe.
yeah. And I think that's the first. And in my book, it's the first few in the first few chapters. I think it's so vital to be aware of your thoughts. So that's an interesting topic there. How can a negative being manipulate your thinking?
Oh, very easy. I mean, you're sitting there and someone cuts you off while you're driving, and you get this thought to flip them the bird or honk the horn or like cuss them out. Well, that's one way. It's pretty obvious.
I think so too. Yeah. People think
When
it's
you're
their own thought
drinking,
doing
when
that
your
or it's a
temperature,
pattern.
yeah, they like to use when you're distracted by emotion. That's probably the easiest way to put it because there's
I
so
like
many
that.
emotions that can distract us.
I
And
know
they'll
that one very well. Yep, yep.
and they'll like poke at it and make the worst happen out of that emotion.
And
That's
then
how
the
you know some.
rumination. My mind goes into this rumination, like, oh my God, like why? And I kept thinking the same thought patterns. And I used to do it, not anymore. Oh my God, I've ditched that pattern when I realized it was someone feeding me. The dark energies are feeding off you when you're ruminating. Like,
Yeah,
no, fuck that. That's not gonna
and
happen.
it's a cycle. When they feed, they make it worse so they have more food.
Oh yeah, they can feed. So you just go willy nilly and try and talk to spirit guides, you could have anything popping in and chatting with you.
Oh yeah, that's fun. I like doing that. I was always about, I would cast open circles and just whoever wants to talk, come visit.
Wow, and what happened? Tell us the story.
Well, I did one for high school. I made a video. There was three ghosts called Lock, Key, and Denise. And we had a camera out and we recorded them and they threw a box at my head and everyone laughed. And then they flipped the board over and everyone laughed. They turned off my radio when I said, well, if you're here, turn off the radio. And the radio went dead. Yeah, all that was on camera. I had 4 people in my high school class walk out because they were afraid.
They'd be freaked out. Yeah, I would love to see that. I think that'd be super cool.
I wish I had it. I
Oh
don't have
yeah.
that video.
Okay. Yeah. But you've had these experiences, of just calling in anything and getting some
Yeah.
strange things coming in. So some people are trying to talk to their spirit guides and just say, I want to talk to my spirit guides. Anything can pop in.
Yes. Ask questions.
Exactly. That's the number one technique that people need to do is ask questions. Like, who are you? Where'd you come from? What's your intention with me? Why are you here?
Don't expect honest answers.
No, that's it too. Now, okay.
I learned
Yeah.
I learned how to tell the truth from demons. Okay. They say 10 things and 9 of them are lies.
Yeah. Okay.
Good luck figuring it. It took me years to figure out how to discern all that.
Okay.
But mind
so
you,
what,
I didn't have a soul when I was learning. There was no intuition built into me at that time.
that would have been challenging. Okay.
It,
And that
it
may
takes a
happen.
while that way.
And some people may be in the same position when they're first starting on this journey. They might not have a soul either. So
Yeah, or something suppressing it. I mean, that's pretty normal.
yeah, absolutely. I've got one. She is that way inclined at the moment. She can't visualize or feel emotion even. Okay, well, she's got a lot of energy healing to do before she gets that. Like if she closes her eyes, she can't visualize love or feel joy or gratitude or something.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you can feel hate and rage. That's pretty much it. You don't even have depression at that point. You don't recognize it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There's no sympathy. There's no empathy. There's none of that.
No, and some of the darker ones don't have those feelings either.
Sorry, my light turned off.
Some of the darker energies have no emotions either, so they don't care if they're manipulating you.
Right. They don't have emotions. They connect to you so they can feel. They like to know what it's like to live. Everybody always says, well, why are they doing this? Because we're alive and they're not.
Yeah.
They don't know what mortality feels like. It's just that simple. They want it and they don't have it.
No, and they can feed off the negative energies. They want to feel how it is. So I mean, I feel empathy towards them, but don't allow the bad ones around me. It's like, no, sorry.
I mean, I'm of the opinion that they all deserve a chance to be cleansed, but most of them don't survive.
Don't survive the cleansing.
No, it happens. It happens with people too. Just you're so far gone, there's nothing anyone can do.
Okay, so far gone. So for some listeners who don't understand that so far gone phrase, how would you describe that?
You have given in to the external entity for so long that it owns you.
And your soul
you are alive
and
because it keeps you alive.
Yeah. So that's giving into the darkness, into the dark energies.
Yeah, and I mean, most people that are in that situation, it's not something that they don't know.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if you're like raping and murdering all day long, you probably know that you're doing that.
So these ones are just lost. Okay, so how did you get from that stage to the stage you're at right now? Because right now you're defeating demons.
Oh my God, that's a long road. Wow. I guess the big turn was I saw the world I was building and it didn't have trees. And I like the wilderness. I like the woods. I like trees. And after about a year of seeing a world with no trees, I decided I should make other plans.
Okay, I like that. So you wanted to keep the earth a nice place for your own enjoyment. And that makes sense.
I hated people. I didn't hate the earth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I get that. And I think there's a lot of people on the planet right now that would like to have a different world. They would like to have a better place to live. A lot of people are crying out for this.
I think that's true. Most people just gave up though.
Yeah, but they're still desiring it. They still have the craving for it. They don't want to suffer anymore. They're tired of the struggle, the misery, the pain, the hurt. And that's why I've just written my book, Bringing the Light, because I had a calling from spirit to say people are ready for this. They need to know how to do it. Right. And as we were just talking about, it goes right back to the old gurus, the Dalai Lama, Jesus Christ, how they taught us just to step into those positive feelings and emotions, because that raises your energy vibration.
Spend your time every day looking at things, finding something good in them.
Gratitude.
No matter how shitty a situation is, you can find something good that came out of it. And that's how you start to change your mind. You have to pay attention to what's good, because no matter what happens in life, you can find things that suck all day long, every day.
Mm.
And if that's what you pay attention to, you will never raise your vibrations.
No, exactly. And that's what happened to me because I was going through a lot of depression. I had narcissistic patterns in my childhood, and I had no self-esteem, no self-confidence. And sometimes I would just go in these crash days for a day, just crying my eyes out, curled in a ball. And I ran across this book by Barbara Fredrickson. It's called Positivity, and it's scientific studies on the benefits of how that changes you. And the one time I could feel the fog of this depression coming over me, and I just looked around the room going, okay, I'm grateful for, what do you be grateful for when you're so depressed? Like what? I didn't get it. And I thought, okay, I'm grateful for the air I'm breathing. That's how I started. And I'm
Start small.
grateful for the food in the fridge. And I was like, oh, and then grateful for the birds I can hear. And then it started flowing, and I have a smile on my face. And you know what? That depression didn't come over me. That fog of the mind was lifted. I was like, holy shit, this stuff works. And I was like, from that point onwards, convinced that, okay, I just have to work it. I have to flick it from negative to positive. I have to work it every day.
Yeah.
Change my life. Mm.
Okay, let's get a little bit to spirit guides here. Now, spirit guides can come in a lot of forms.
Yep.
I wouldn't call any of them a ghost, but you can have deceased relatives that are a guide. They're just not there all the time.
Yep.
If there's a person around and it's there all the time, then yes, it's a ghost. Because no other people can be there all the time. Most spirit guides are animals.
Animals. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's some
Most
angels
of them
that
ended up
help us too.
Right, but they're not there all the time, right? These are things that pop up to help you, but the things that are there all the time with you, most of them are animals.
Okay, so you would name the things that are there with you all the time spirit guides.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's what I call them.
I call anyone who pops in from time to time to help you on your journey as a spirit guide to me.
I mean, that's true too, but you have the main one and then you have all the other ones. Like, so Michael might be one of your guides, but he's not your guide.
Yeah, true. He's guiding you. Yeah.
You along with others. Your spirit guide to me is the one that's yours.
Yeah. That's a good analogy. That's a good definition of it all. Okay, so animals. Yeah, of course.
They're the most common because that's what's so plentiful in the fourth dimension is spirits, elementals.
Elementals. Yeah, okay. I know I've identified some of mine over the years, and I traveled with them. I still do. And some of them take a different shape, and then take a couple of them took a warrior pose rather than just being gentle, soft little animal. They took into warrior shape. And I was like, whoa, still animal, same animal, but different shape. Okay.
That's letting you know that they can look after you.
Yeah.
They all have war forms. They just don't like to use them.
Yeah. I don't know what form. I haven't checked them recently, but I'm assuming they're still in the same form. Okay. Yeah, they go back and forth. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Okay. So then animals, they're with you for, there's this one movie. What's that movie called? Where they have animal spirit guides. It's attached to them by a tether, and then there's an evil lady who cuts the tether. I'll have to look it up, the name of it.
I don't know that movie, but it sounds pretty accurate.
Oh, yeah. I will send it to you. It's only the children, and then I have the spirit guides that are attached to them like this. And there's an evil lady wanted to cut that because it's given them supernatural powers. Their spirit guides. It's a cool movie. Yeah. Okay. So can you tell us maybe a story about one of your spirit guides?
Well, currently I have a dragon. I used to have a dragon and a snake. I was like 22 maybe, and I was just getting way too dark, and the snake left. He never came back.
Okay.
So contrary to popular belief, snakes aren't evil. They don't appreciate it. And when you turn too dark, they leave.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah. I have a snake as well. She's gorgeous. I know her name, I know her color, and I know her personality.
Right. And you got that by doing what? Meditating, right?
I am meditating, reflecting in nature, and contemplating, and spending a lot of solitude time. And the
The
one time she just came up out of nowhere and straight towards me. She was big as a house, and she was just woof, right towards me. I was like, I said hello, and then from then
yeah,
on she was
that
with
sounds
me.
pretty accurate.
I don't know what she was coming on, what she was coming from, but she was, like it was pretty terrifying. But at the same time, I just, well, hi, nice to see you, and then she's with me.
Right, but you remember that feeling, right?
Yeah,
It was terrifying, but it wasn't bad. It
no,
was like,
absolutely not bad. Yeah,
now that's how you can tell when it's something helpful. If it's not something helpful, that terrified feeling isn't accompanied by any kind of peace. It's like, holy, what is going on?
yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, absolutely. And it stays and it keeps you. I know that the fear and the paranoia will stay with you. Like that
Yeah,
one
and
time
it'll,
you helped me with my haunted house, and I had 2 days
yeah,
of fear and paranoia. And I was like, oh my, this is like, I was overwhelmed. And I'm normally flicking into positivity, and that one just caught me. And I was like, shit, this is bigger than what I could fathom. Now I
that,
think I might be able to handle
yeah.
it, but I'm not wishing that practice.
Well, it's they know when to get you when you're not paying full attention, when you're split too many different ways. I mean, they can sense all that. It's like a
Mm,
predator. They look for easier food. If you're at full
well,
power, they're not coming near you. They wait until you run down.
Well, that was the one when I was working with that client who was possessed by a jinn,
Yeah,
and her father had set a curse, a protection ward around her, and I think I just triggered that trying to help her. So that was,
that happens a lot too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's what you told me at the time, and I was like, that makes total sense because I've never felt something like this before. So it's just a matter of going, aha, okay. Then what do you do with it? Is you got to raise your energy vibration. It comes back to that, wouldn't it?
Well, it depends if you're trying to fight it or not. Sometimes protectors, they're just trying to protect. They don't know you're there to help. Like my wife has a friend who's protected by a fairy, and I went to go help her one day, and the fairy didn't like that. And the fairy, like, I looked at my wife, I was like, "Can you go talk to this fairy because it's giving me a headache? It doesn't understand. I'm trying to help." So she did, and then we had the fairy showed me how to tune my energy to not be so offensive.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But I could have powered through it, but that wouldn't have helped anyone.
Yeah, yeah. Again, ask questions.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it
Hmm.
helps to have help.
Yeah,
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 fairies
true.
don't like you at all.
And your
They
energy
don't.
is really big. I remember your
Yeah,
energy coming
they
in.
just don't like it.
I remember your energy coming into the room, and I was like, "Whoa, that's massive." So I can imagine the
Yeah.
fairies would feel, yeah,
Nope.
yeah,
I mean, they tolerate it, but they don't like it.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I had someone do a healing on me in the last a few weeks ago, maybe more than a month ago now, and he said he obliterated my dragon, and I was like, that dragon was a friend of mine. It's like he just went in. I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't know. I have to go and see if she's still there.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if it's your spirit animal, that no one can kill it but you, it'll just hide inside you.
Yeah, yeah. So I could probably just go and tap into that and see what's going on. I haven't
Yeah.
haven't yet. So yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so spirit guides. You're saying most of them can be animals. How does a person call in a spirit guide, or how do they understand the spirit guide? To me, it's all about meditation.
I mean, to be fair, it's usually something that you already have an affinity towards. I
Yeah,
mean, some people are like, oh, I've always liked, elephants. And no, I tapped into my subconscious and I found an elephant next to me.
yeah.
It's you have to learn how to hear your subconscious because that's how they talk to you.
Yeah, some people collect ton of little cat statues all over the place, like everywhere.
Yeah.
I used to do owls. I'm addicted to owls. Every owl, and even my daughter was buying me owls for my birthdays, and in the end, I just went, oh, okay. And then I started talking to her because I started recognizing, who she was and what was there, and stuff. And then, and yeah, so it's like you see, and you can even, some people say they have owls visiting their house, or you know, dogs, or you know, or they got a sudden craving for bears or something. They got to learn all about bears. And
Yeah, it's like that. It's not easy.
I think it's fun. I have so much fun with animals. I sent my owl actually ahead when I was about to travel in my van. This is a few years ago. I had a rusty old van, and I traveled around Australia by myself as a solo woman. And I sent my owl ahead to clear the journey. And I should just come back and tell me it's done. Actually, I sent owl and dragon. It was a baby dragon at the time. And yeah, and they both came back and told me that, yep, pass clear. And I had two incidences when I would have been in big trouble in the middle of the desert, no one around. One of them was I was 100 kilometers to the next petrol station and almost out of petrol. I thought I had enough to get there. And I was about 4 o'clock in the morning. It's sunset coming in an hour, and I've got this time limit as well, sunset in the desert. I tell you, that's bloody scary. There's no one around, and people can show up out of nowhere, like, because they can walk in, you know, everywhere in the desert. And I just pulled over at the next rest stop. There's an elderly couple having a nap there, and they have spare petrol for me. 5 minutes later, I was back on the road with the petrol I needed. I went, thank you guys.
Yeah, it works just like that.
It was great. It was so great.
I
So,
do
you
the
know,
same thing every time I travel.
yeah, yeah. It's beneficial. Hey, I mean, spirit guides can help you with so many things.
They can teach you too if you just learn to listen.
Yeah, yeah. So what have you learned from your spirit guides?
That I shouldn't pick a fight with the mother of dragons. That whole time, my dragon did not talk to me for like 6 months. No bullshit. He just left me. He was like, "Screw you, dude. Come talk to me when you're back to normal."
Why does a person pick a fight with Tiamat?
Well, I mean, she was corrupt.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, and at that point, I didn't know how to cleanse, so it was, you know, deal with the situation.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it worked.
Yeah, it did. I picked a day where everything that would have stopped me was busy. It was what was it? 2017 during the solar eclipse.
Okay.
Mhm. Cthulhu and Baal were the ones that kept keeping me from getting to her. So I waited till they were both busy that day.
And they're busy during the solar eclipse?
Yeah, they were working some corrupt magic rituals.
Classic. Oh, okay. Nice.
So
and then
I picked that day. She didn't really fight back that day when I came to get her.
She probably knew.
Well, she had realized that I mean, it's like, you know, a movable object meets, you know, a movable force.
Common sense. Yeah. Okay. And she's been cleansed.
Yeah, it took her like another year to talk to me. She was not happy with me.
Okay. So what does it mean to cleanse the mother of dragon then?
You remove the let's see. In scientific terms, it would be removing the alternate reality that is trying to invade this one from her.
Okay.
I call that because it's, you know, an outside universe, an outside reality, completely foreign. And what it does is corrupt all the rest of them.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know that one. Yeah. Okay.
And some people call it the dark dimension. I call it the corrupt place.
The corrupt place is trying to take over this reality.
Not just this one. It's been doing it to a lot of them.
Okay. Well, shall we talk about the corruption a little bit? I think people might be a bit curious about this now that they're hearing about it for the first time.
Okay. Well, let's start small. We'll go with a common one, Lucifer, right? Lucifer's the big, bad, evil guy, right? You know, no, he's not.
No, he's not.
He's like a small fish. He's like a store manager.
Store manager. Okay.
like a store manager. And we're going to be going all the way up to the people that tell the president what to do. That's how low
Right.
down the chamber really is.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So
He's got
Lucifer
good
is
public
not.
relations skills. But he was their face. I mean, he was great at it. He liked it.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. So Lucifer. All right. So Lucifer is not all that bad.
Well, I mean, it's like a matter of opinion. He was pretty messed up, but that's not how he was made. That's what they turned him into. Lucifer is the angel of truth, which is why when he turned, God fell apart because he put too much of his truth into Lucifer. So without Lucifer, he lost his truth. That's why you see so many weird, crazy things God does in the Bibles. Like, why would he do that? Well, he was a little messed up in the head.
Nobody would think of God that way. They think him as high and mighty.
Well, because they think that he's a perfect being. Remember, people were made in his image. We're not perfect. Why would you think he is?
That's true. That's good common sense right there. Okay. So when I pray to God for advice on something, maybe that's not such a good idea.
Well, it's not that it's a bad idea.
I might end up.
It's a bad idea to pray to God if you worship the devil. If you're a Christian praying to God, you're fine.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't classify myself in any category, so.
I have faith, not religion.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Absolutely, because religion is kind of blinding a person to believing the dogma, rules and regulations, and you are limited. You can't see the truth of reality.
Exactly. But it makes their own little reality inside of the bigger reality.
There's a lot of people talking about this right now, about religion, and it's absolutely fascinating. In very credible books, journal articles, and this kind of thing are actually talking about this fact. Religions is more of a mind control. I've seen it in quite a few times in quite a few things.
It goes all the way back to Babylon.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So back to Lucifer.
Okay. Well, he's back with God, doing his job as he's supposed to. But you go beyond him because, let's face it, Lucifer was small. Above him would be, you're looking at like Azazel, still more archdemons, but older archdemons, I guess is, by older, I mean, they were corrupted longer ago than Lucifer was, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So Azazel, what forms does Azazel take?
Every time I've seen him, I mean, he's got, the red skin, the horn, like he's like he takes the typical, what people think the devil looks like. That's not his form. That's just every archdemon, every archangel is a beautiful human. That's what they look like, is the most beautiful people you've ever seen. But they weren't given free will, which caused a lot of problems.
Okay. Wow. That's to me, when you said most beautiful humans, I imagined, our what we're taught a vampire looks like, the beautiful human.
Yes, but with a like aura of like majesty to go with it. It's not just physical, like you are attracted to their being. Yeah. Okay, like they get you on like a soul level.
Whoa. That would be like compulsion, compelled.
Oh, they can make you obsessed. That's one of the things that they're gifted with.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, that's why they're so good at corrupting people.
Do they pop into, like, if we're talking about spirit guides, do they pop into someone else in someone's life sometime and try and corrupt them?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what can a person do to recognize when this happens?
You have to know your spirit guides. You have to be able to sense when something not good comes around, because they have a lot of powers to hide what they are, because that's what they do.
They absolutely do. And it's like, and I'm getting this whole vision of this veil popping over them, and they appear to someone. I had one, and she just says, "Oh, this is a lovely." She gave me the fairy tale romance version of a spirit guide coming in, or a spirit coming in, because she was practicing her psychic abilities in my course, you know. And she said, "Oh, they're lovely, they're beautiful, and they got really light energy." I said, "Can you deepen that? Deepen your sight there." And then she started going deeper. I said, "What are they there for in your life?" And she goes, "Oh, they're here to learn from me." And I was like, "Okay, deepen that again. What are they getting from me? What's their intention?" Oh, I think their race was then. And she kept going, and and it's like, oh, and I says, "Now go back to your initial image of them, a light being." And she's going, "Yeah, no." I was like, "Okay, so you've got to ask, you've got to question, you've got to keep going."
Yeah. And trust yourself.
Trust yourself. That's a massive one for so many people. They don't know how to trust their instincts, their
They doubt.
intuition. Like, they doubt. I know, and that's the number one thing. Doubt. Straight away, if you start doubting your abilities, it's gonna sabotage it straight away. Like, it just cuts it.
Yeah, well, I mean, even people that don't have abilities, you can still sense when something is wrong. Like, all of a sudden, I'm having problems. Some weirdness is going on here. Let me look into this.
You can feel it in your emotions, your feelings. You feel instincts, like your fear, your paranoia, something kicks
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
No matter how much they hide, they can't turn that off.
No.
You will have that feeling like, this is something that I should be nervous about. Well, if it was something helpful, it wouldn't try to be all pretty. It would just show up and tell you what you needed to hear and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be all sweet to you and "Oh, you want this?" and try to be your best friend. No. Well, if it's something good, it will eventually develop into that. But they're going to start by being short and direct.
Yeah, they do. They come straight with the message. There's no airy fairy shit. There's no bullshit. It's just there. It's like the message, you get it. Oh, okay. Yep.
And when you start listening, then I'll start talking to you more. Until then, this is what you get.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. And then once you can listen into more. So it's really kind of a fine line between the difference of something who's coming in that looks romantic, and then something that actually is the right one. It's a fine. And I think the best way that I've found to develop this discernment is to be able to meditate and sit in solitude and feel into it. It's kind of like those three things all come together for me.
Yeah, I agree. If it's something helpful and you sit down to try and isolate it to find out if it's good, it'll pop up. Yeah. And be like, "Yeah, I'm good job. I'll be back later." Stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So if it's there to be your friend, it'll spend hours wasting your time telling you whatever you want to hear. If it's something you want to hear, you should question it.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing about this, all these ghosts, and thought they were spirit guides just because they were hanging around her. And I says, "Have they helped you with anything?" And she goes, "No. If I ask a question, they usually just say yes or no. They haven't helped me." I thought, well, spirit guides will help you.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. That's kind of what they're there for.
So it's something that's an indication. If someone's just hanging around and they're like, well, they're there because they're not human. They like a human life, Okay, are they beneficial? And sometimes they're not detrimental. They're just there. But I find that ghosts, or like deceased people, will sometimes, although you compared these are two different deceased people and ghosts were something different to you. I remember you said that at the beginning of the conversation.
Well, I can go to the Deadlands and see the deceased people that aren't ghosts.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Deceased person hanging around here. They usually carry their old negative patterns from their lifetime that they have. And so.
Yeah, we call that emotional baggage.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was like, and then they're hanging around you like, your narcissistic, I'm just writing this book in my book at the moment. There's a narcissistic grandfather sitting there and he's just condescending and belittling and putting down because his thoughts are like this constantly. And so you feel
Yeah.
like that about yourself all the time and you get rid of him.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we're going back to Azazel.
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 His original name was Samael.
Oh yeah, okay, I know that name. Okay. Okay, so who's up next from him then? If we keep going up the line.
Well, you're going to go up the rest of the infernal realms. You know, you're going to get to, drawing blanks. The head of the infernal realm, the gatekeeper, is Baal. I mean, there's so many of them underneath between, I just don't remember all their names.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay. And it just keeps, and Baal, what's his job? He's the gatekeeper. What else does he do?
Well, the gate that he keeps is the gate to the other reality that's trying to invade. He was like the filter, which gave him a lot of power. And that goes all the way back to Babylon.
Yeah, wow, okay. So has he let some beings through then, has he?
Well, he's no longer the gatekeeper. He was removed, and now there's nothing stopping the gate. A lot of things were mad at me for that, but, it needed to be done.
Okay. So there's your light's going again. And did you notice behind your head in the image, if you got your head tilted to the one side, you've actually got horns, but not the other side. Put your head the other side.
Yeah, well,
that's
just the light reflecting on the whiteboard.
No, I know, but I'm seeing it. I'm thinking, how does that work?
That's funny. I didn't notice that.
I'm seeing it through our conversation. I went, yeah, this is classic.
That's pretty funny.
Great. It's just making it, yeah. Although it's not there now that we said it, but you probably moved your phone just a bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's in my hands. It's not on a tripod.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, what else did you want to say about the corruption? We were talking about corruption and Lucifer, Azazel, and those ones. But what is it about the corruption that's necessary for people to know right now?
That's what turns good things evil. It's what makes evil flourish. Look at the world.
Yeah.
Corruption lets evil flourish because it invades everyone. People become, I guess, passive to watching how every government on the planet is just screwing their people over. We all see it, but what can you do about it, right?
Yeah.
You can complain, you can go in the streets and protest, but does that ever do anything?
No.
So you look at the world, and the world is set up the exact same way, hierarchy-wise, as the corruption realm. At the very top, you have one person, one entity. That, near as I can tell, is the oldest family on Earth. I'm not going to mention any names, but people can look that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So the corruption.
Underneath that, you have three. Just like on Earth, you have three people that pretty much oversee everything.
So they oversee life on Earth as if it's like a game, like a chess game, and they're just moving the little pieces and activating pandemics or, wars and whatever when they feel like it. I've seen this in my visions when I was, an altered state of consciousness on other planets. And I've seen, a wizard who had a war with himself, an argument with himself, split into three different wizards. And then each one of those wizards were getting the villagers to fight with each other at certain times when they felt like having a war because they were just pissed off at each other. It was one being that split into three. So I'm assuming it's something similar. Yeah.
It's similar to that. Yes. All of these, stuff that goes on in the world is just to keep us fighting each other, to not pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, to
And
keep
it's
the
the
corruption
same over
going.
there. That's why they have, oh, it's Cthulhu, it's Baal, it's Lucifer, it's all misdirection. They want you to focus on the smaller players so you don't see the bigger ones. In the
Okay,
world,
so
you look at presidents, but no one looks at the people that bought the president. No one looks at the people that bought the person that bought the president.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like that.
Okay, okay. And it makes sense to me because there's some other worlds that are very much in corruption like that too. I think this other one that I was talking about, the three wizards or whatever, it had portals on it as well. So it must have been in some other dimension, because I remember going through a portal into a university, which is so awesome. I love that school. It was like it's like a past life memory almost. It's like, oh, why am I living here? Let me just scoot off into another reality. It's like I was like, yeah, it was one of my lifetimes, I think. But it's kind of, to me, it's like, we have so many different realities and so many different, there's all sorts of game playing happening. And yeah.
Even inside our collective reality, there are lots and lots of other realities. That brings me to something else that I learned recently. We all know who gods are. You can read about all of the different gods. But the gods actually divide themselves into all of those smaller realities that they want to be a part of.
Okay.
And the consciousness shift will occur when there is enough of those realities that they have the majority, where people believe beyond this world. And I'm not talking like the religious where, oh, we got heaven and we got hell and we got earth. And when we die, we go here. Because most of the world believes you have to die to go anywhere beyond earth.
Yeah.
That unless that becomes much less, like that's where the veil comes down.
Oh, that's what we have to believe, that we're not going to die. Okay.
Just like Earth's magnetic field and gravity are also related to consciousness. You want to find a planet in space with life on it? Look for something that has more gravity than it's supposed to have. Gravity is more related to electromagnetism than mass. And consciousness is electric and affects the electromagnetism of the planet.
Okay. Yeah.
Our field is weakening because our consciousness is shifting. So it's fluctuating, strong, weak, hole over here, good over here, hole over there. Oh, that hole's gone. The earth is doing it right now, and you can see it. That's the physical representation of what is happening with consciousness.
And the energies, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can see it. I mean, I was just talking to people about, be careful and watch your thoughts, because it actually creates your reality. And we're looking at you're deepening, you're advancing this knowledge, was going, okay, if you think you're going to die, we need to change things. Like if everyone thinks, okay, is it possible, even just starts questioning, is it possible to not die? Let's just start questioning these things. Like, I've done this myself, and I've gone to India trying to figure it out. And there are some people that have chosen not to die, and there's practices that they use in order to get their body to change. Even in African shamanism, they have rituals, initiations that people go through that train the body not to believe it's solid anymore, because the body can shift and change shape. It can become a light body. It doesn't have to be solid, but the body is trained because of mass consciousness.
Yeah, pretty much. I used to call it, the laws of reality, but it's the rules of mass consciousness. It's the same thing.
Yeah, laws of reality. But what would it take for one person, say, to actually shift that within themselves? So, okay, I'm actually trying to do this now. To shift.
You have to get 100% away from technology.
Technology would do it.
Yes, technology, all of these tools we have to make our lives better exist because we don't have the magic to do it anymore. We don't have the high enough consciousness.
Yeah.
I wouldn't need a phone to talk to you. I would just be able to talk to you.
Yeah.
All of these tools they limit us because they make us think we can't do these things without it.
That makes sense. It makes us reliant on something else, so we're not even going to try because,
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at all the greatest monks. They're not around technology.
No, they've all gone bush.
You don't don't see them, having video chat. You see some of them occasionally make public appearances,
Yeah.
but they don't stay there.
See that I was actually looking for a cave someplace to sit and meditate. I haven't found my cave yet, so maybe that's still coming. So it's like I know I need to go. I need to go at some point in time. Because this is what my
You
next
have to
goal is.
completely get away. I mean, that's
Wow.
the rules that are built in. If the veil wasn't there, it wouldn't be like that. But also, you wouldn't need your phone. You wouldn't need your Xbox. You wouldn't need your TV.
Yeah.
I want to watch a movie. I'm just going to make a movie up in my head and watch it on the TV.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh yeah, the mind can come up with some amazing scenarios in movies. I've done that a few times myself. Where do I
You
want to
could
go
just play your
today?
memory. Just be like, I'm going to put last week on TV and watch what I did. You can do that.
You can even watch someone else's life in your movie screen. Okay, now hang on, I'm going to tap into whoever else and watch their last week as well.
Yeah. Well,
Or
then you're
just watch them
into
now.
issues.
Okay, maybe
Not
not that one.
couldn't force it, but it's better to ask.
Yeah, that's true. Do you mind if I watch your movie? Yeah, that's a good point. We don't want to be getting into that. We'll get in trouble. Okay, cool. So yeah, the corruption. The corruption is quite a big thing. So when we're talking about, we're linking corruption, like if spirit guides, for instance, a lot of the spirit guides are corrupted. Yeah.
It used to be,
Okay.
not so much anymore because, I mean, you can look at the world and you see it falling apart, but really, it's not as bad as it was.
Yeah.
You can tell Gaia has been healing. Yes, the oceans are dying, but why? Everyone says, "Oh, it's Fukushima. Oh, it's this. It's pollution."
Mm-hmm.
What the main culprit is our magnetic field is weak, so we're getting a whole lot of extra UVC radiation all the way down to the surface, which is not normal. And UVC is the stuff that they use to kill germs. It irradiates. And you ever heard of this product was cleansed by irradiation? They clean it with radiation. And that's UVC because it goes away once you turn it off. It doesn't stay. But the magnetic field isn't closing to turn it off, so it's just staying on.
That's probably not a good thing. I went to pathology to get a pathology test the other day, and there was a breath one where you have to take this pill. And I was like, wait, what's this pill? Like, and I looked it up. It was radioactive.
Yeah.
I said, why do they want me to take a radioactive pill to do this test to see if I've got a bacteria in my body? And I refused. I'm not seeing anything radioactive in my body. That doesn't sound like a very good idea. So it's like,
well,
so,
I mean,
okay.
to be fair, we're all dosed with radiation a lot. Every piece of technology gives off a little bit.
Okay, so how is the world going to change from all this then?
Well, it depends on which side wins, to be honest. Maybe Earth stays the same. Maybe it turns into what I want. Maybe it turns into a living hell. One thing's for certain, whichever outcome, the Earth is going to go through drastic events. You're talking Earth crust displacement, which most people don't believe in, but the CIA classified the only one that talked about the Earth rotating 90 degrees every time.
Okay.
Kind of weird.
That's coming up. We know that's coming up. That's coming up in the next few years, really. Something.
Yeah, which means when that happens, the Earth is going to tilt 90 degrees. You're looking at Antarctica and Greenland now on the equator. Atlantis was in Antarctica. It was on the equator. When it shifted, it got a giant tidal wave, but it also froze. It wasn't an island that just disappeared one day.
It was actually an event. That makes total sense. Okay. So that could affect, everyone around the planet, obviously.
Yeah, it will. It'll affect the whole planet. It'll be, random chance which parts of the Earth are unaffected.
Yeah, because I can imagine that would even affect whether mountains are high. Like some mountains might go disappear, some might come up, and like even if you're on a mountaintop, I don't think it's safe.
The Himalayas were formed in like 2 days. They didn't gradually grow over bazillions of years. They formed during a shift. The shift,
Oh,
you hear there's no, some say it's like a 1 day shift, some it's a 3 day, some it's 7 days. We
either
haven't
way,
been, we've only got stories, so there's no way to know the exact amount of time it takes.
it's probably documented somewhere, the Akashic records maybe or something.
Well, they do. The problem is they're not the same every time.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah.
We've had a lot of magnetic excursions, but the last full pole shift was almost a million years ago. And if it shifts every, 11 to 13,000 years, like they're trying to say, that's a lot of shifts in a million years. And this time is going to be a full pole shift.
Okay. So, yeah. So, I mean, when people are talking about, are thinking about talking to the spirit guides, I think after the pole shift would be a different version of Earth. So we have to learn how to talk to your spirit guides in a different way after that.
Well, if everything goes according to plan, you'll just be able to look down and see him and pet him, and it'll just be your friend that follows you everywhere.
Because we're going to be in third, fourth, or fifth dimension.
Well, Earth is still going to have the physical 3 dimension, but from there you're going to be able to go to the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. I don't think there's a way to make it go past seventh. I don't even know if I can do it to seventh, because in the past it only went to sixth.
Okay, cool. Well, that sounds like a completely different reality. Really nice.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
We don't
once
have to die.
Well, you can still move on beyond that and go to your place of reward when you're done. I mean, think about
choice about it.
When people were first made, look at the stories from the Bible, right? Adam was 1,000 years old when he died finally. Methuselah was 1,000 years old. Noah was like 750 or something, right?
Yeah.
In today's world, we have to live multiple lives to learn. Well, if you don't have to worry about dying every 60, 70, 80 years, you could learn a lot. And then you get to the point where you are done and you're ready to move on.
Yeah, some people don't believe those numbers in the Bible, though.
Well, because they don't have belief. I mean, I don't know how you can say you believe the Bible, but then you pick and choose which parts you want to listen to. I mean, that's kind of weird.
That's true. That is a bit true. I myself believe that's true, that they did live that long, because I do believe in these things. I know there's, I actually met someone a few years ago. He was into astral projection and meditation and whatnot. And in one of our private conversations, he says one time when he was meditating, he was actually levitating. His physical body was. And he's just looking down going, oh, okay. So, things happen. Like.
But you won't be able to do that in front of people.
No.
That's where our collective consciousness reality limits. It's not that you can't, you just can't do it with an audience.
Yeah, because that person has that belief that that's not possible. So therefore,
and the belief is an
energy vibration. Yeah, absolutely. And that would be more. And I have seen, like, other people have seen Indian yogis do that in front of them, and they've tried to do video of it and this kind of thing. But it's very rare because
we've been conditioned that yogis and Buddhist monks, well, they can just do stuff the rest of us can't.
Oh, that's true. So that's in the belief system as well. Yeah.
It all depends. See, right now I'm trying to figure out how to take all of these little realities and find what connects each of them to make them one. That's where I'm stuck at the moment. That's the only way to break down the veil without a violent catastrophe. I don't think it's going to happen.
To put all these little different belief system and social constructs and different realities all together in one, that would be complicated.
Well, it's not. See, it's like combining different religions. You find the things you have in common and just pay attention to them. And you can still have your little different things, but that doesn't affect that you accept that this is the core of what we should be doing.
And that is possible. I've seen a lot of people come to that already. They've researched religion and they found commonality between all of them. It's like,
That's what I did.
yeah, yeah.
So
me
if I
too.
can do it with religion, I theoretically could do it with realities. I just, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, that's got me thinking now too. I like that. That sounds like a good game to do. I was like,
I mean, those two choices, either consciousness becomes awake enough or people got to go that don't believe. I mean,
well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the second one is the one I've seen coming through at the moment, or there's a lot of people who are so stuck they're not going to want to step up into a different belief. And because the shift is happening within a few years, there's not much time left. So I can't imagine they're going to change their belief systems that they're stuck in. I mean, I'm putting books out, I'm writing blogs, I'm trying to get people to shift into this. I had a client yelling at me late at night because she was like, I'm not going to celebrate. Are you serious? You're trying to tell me I should celebrate my small steps in my business? And I'm going, yeah. Like she's not even going to shift in that one. It's like she was telling me that what I was saying is incorrect and she should be celebrating because she's not successful yet. I was like, ooh, okay.
Well, I mean, some people are like that, but if you wait till the end, you never really enjoy the process.
You don't enjoy the process. You don't feel motivated. You don't feel like you're high. She's high in procrastination. I can't get my out of procrastination. I was like, it's because you're not feeling good about the steps that you're taking and moving forward. Yeah. So it's a matter of trying to explain it. And there's so many gurus and teachers or like spiritual teachers. Like, how many years have we seen them write books and do seminars and there's so much knowledge in the world, but people are not accessing it and making use of it. And it's like, I feel like I'm just going through a broken record over and over and over and over again.
I mean, you got to figure, you try to help 100 people, you might succeed with one.
Yeah. So when we're talking about the veil coming down and the shift happening calmly, well, what's the likelihood of that?
Pretty slim.
It's pretty slim at this stage.
It's pretty slim.
Yeah, absolutely. I just thought, oh no, I'm just going to focus on myself right now, and this is kind of what I've just,
I mean, that's all you can do. I worry about me and the people around me, and I'll try to like reach out and help somebody once a week.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely helping people still. Like, I'm not going to give up on them yet. But if someone comes to me, like a young woman came to me, she was in depression because her dad had passed away back in 2017 and she didn't know why. So I just tapped into the energies. I had a chat with her dad and I found out why. And I just gave her some, he was heavy in depression. And she says, oh, we had a drinking problem. I went, yeah, well, this just something that snapped. He had a trauma event that basically he just decided to take his life. And she was just devastated. She was so grateful to know what happened. I said, it sounds like money. I think someone put pressure on money and he was struggling and he was really having a hard time, like to cover his own bills. And then he had a new girlfriend and whatnot. And it just kept going, story. And I was like, and she said, thank you so much. No psychic has ever been able to help me yet with it. And she's like, makes total sense to her. And she was able to come a little bit more. And then, my spirit guides, I don't know benevolent beings or whatever, they're just
they're guides.
they thinned the veil for her for 3 days so she could talk to her dad. And the next day she sent me a message going, oh, I was driving down the road and I said, Dad, just play your favorite song. And she said, it came on. I was like, yay. So I mean, spirit guides are so very valuable in every aspect of our life. And I think even when we're doing the shift, they're super important because they'll tell you where to be, what to do.
I mean, people that think that we just die and we go into the ground and our energy and our atoms go back to the world, well, then, yeah, they're going to be scared because they don't believe in anything. I mean, death is a transition. Some people will be in much better places than here when it happens. Some people are going to be in worse places.
Yeah, that's true. It depends on your energy vibration that you're carrying now and the level of,
And the way I word it, it depends on what God you serve and how well you serve them.
Okay, so what God you serve?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean they're all around. I mean, maybe you are Hindu and you serve Shiva or Vishnu or Krishna or Kali, or maybe I'm following Osho, or whatever all of them are. Maybe you're Muslim, you follow Allah, or maybe you're Christian, you follow God. It doesn't matter. They all have a good place and a bad place where they will send you. If I worship the most evil thing in the world and I'm out helping people, he's not going to send me to a place I like.
Do we have a choice in that, or we just have to
everyone has a choice. It's free will. You choose what you follow. You choose what you believe in.
You choose whether you're talking to God and following through with their instructions or something. Yeah, okay. There you go. I thought that, afterwards we would have like a choice about what planet we wanted to live on because we're out of this reality.
Well, see, that's goes in line with your beliefs, and that's pretty much tied to the entity that everyone calls source. And depending on how well you follow what he teaches will depend on how well you are treated in the next after you leave here.
Okay, so that's making a lot of sense. It's according to your belief system, according to which God you're following, according to what results you're going to get at the end. That makes total sense. And that would be, I'm just trying to kind of find a common, ground of familiarity between all these, because you were saying you'd like to blend all the realities together. And I think that's it. It's depending on, I think that's we've almost, except everyone's got different gods and different beliefs and stuff, but they all have to do a good thing or bad thing according to get into a better place or a bad place. Like it's related to belief systems. So that is something that's common between all of them.
Yeah. Even atheists go somewhere.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. According to their karma or whatever.
Well, no, I mean, they worship science. I don't know any atheists that don't believe in science. And science is as much religion as anyone else. Most of it's theory. They can't prove every little detail of science.
No, and theories are disproven as well. So it doesn't,
so science is no different than any other faith.
That's
some of it you can't.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm assuming that we're kind of just talking a lot at the moment. We've gone through, how people can raise their energy vibration, how to discern who they're talking to, just to give people a more advanced perspective of talking to spirit. And yeah, that, if you have doubt or fear when you're talking to spirit, then it's going to hinder you from getting truth. Well, fear basically means that you're talking to someone that's probably manipulating your mind.
Yeah, usually. I mean, some people are just afraid of everything and they're going to have a hard time. You have to get over your fear of everything before you can really start telling the difference.
Absolutely. I remember going through a fear stage as well. And I was like, okay, show me what I need to do to get over my fear. I asked my spirit guides to show me. And they took me through different scenarios to grow stronger in fear, like that one haunted house time. Yep. I was terrified. I'm thinking, okay, this is a different level of fear that I didn't know.
Yeah, people like you that do a lot of healing, when something comes to bother you, it's not going to be small.
Yeah, but I've learned how to raise my energy vibration to another level. Oh, now that's one thing. That one energy healer that was helping me that, I had a session with, she was saying that she only works with benevolent beings above the 7th dimension.
Yeah.
And you were saying that there's some beings above the 7th dimension that are not benevolent, that they're actually corrupted.
Yeah. You figure our universe, near as I can tell, it goes to 20 dimensions. And the place where this alternate reality, this corruption is coming from, well, it goes to 20 dimensions also. And they're very much not friendly. And they can very much impersonate pretty much anything you've encountered.
Right. So we can have a 20-dimensional demon trying to impersonate your spirit guide and as your spirit guide and giving you messages.
Yes, it's possible. Most of the time, something that big won't waste their
Won't
time
go-
with something that
probably
hasn't
won't bother.
drawn.
Mm.
But there's always something that's bigger than you that's willing to do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because we're what, in third dimension right now? So yeah.
Well, I mean, if you go with like the source stuff and everything, your soul is like a seventh dimensional soul or something, I think is what they believe. I'm not 100. I'm still learning this one. It's new to me. But they believe most people's souls are already seventh dimension. We just don't remember everything.
Yeah, I think that's what this lady was believing as well, something like this. Yeah.
It's something like that. I mean, not every soul is like that, obviously. Some people are from that place and they divided themselves into like a couple different bodies so they can experience different things. And when they pass on, they get all of those different collections of experiences, which works. It just makes each version that you made weaker because you have to divide your power up between them.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, and what one would experience, you would still have some after effect of it, I would think. So
well, I mean, when all of it comes back together, I'm sure you're going to be a little hazy for a couple of days.
Yeah, I can imagine. But yeah, I was just thinking that right now. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So and you did say at one point in time in another conversation that the higher you go in dimension, that the bigger the being gets.
Yeah, exponentially. They grow. They don't, I mean, once you get above 7, they don't really have bodies. They have like shapes, forms, but they're huge. I mean, it's not like looking and seeing a person like the size of a mountain walking around. Like they don't even look like that. They're just big shapes of energy.
Wow. Yeah. I think I've seen some of those in my visions. I was like, whoa, that's a bit big.
I mean, they can, take part of them and put it into a form that you'll recognize. And they do that all the time to make interactions easier.
Okay.
But,
so if people come across, like we're talking to spirit and they're wanting to learn a little bit more about this unseen world that's around us, what tip would you give people? Is there, does anything come to mind? We're talking about a lot of different layers and stuff, and it's like an advanced talk on spirit guides. And in order to do that properly, they need to know about the different dimensions and about the corruption and what's available. You have to have that whole knowledge to be able to, in my mind, you can't just talk willy-nilly to any spirit and then expect, all happy roses and rainbows. You gotta have it.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But if you want to start, the easiest, I mean, go out in the woods. It's already easier to meditate when you're in the woods, when you're in nature. And the more in nature you are, the less dark things that will be there. Nature is nature for a reason. That's where all the natural things go.
That's how I started. Back when I was a teenager, I used to sit next to the lake by myself, just channeling all this stuff through. I was channeling, shapes like this angel wings and this diamond shape, and I was channeling. And then I started to channel poems, and it's just recently I come across even a story that I had written in that, and I was like, holy shit, this is advanced stuff. It was amazing. I didn't know, I was like, this is really cool. So it was always in nature.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I've been writing something and I don't have a clue what I wrote until I read it at the end. That happens. I'll like start writing to someone about something and then I just go blank and I'm like, oh wow, look at all this stuff I wrote.
And that's where we can access more advanced knowledge than what we have in the physical body right now. So
yeah, I mean that takes a lot of practice to learn how to control channeling. A lot of people do it. Like I did it for a long time before I even knew what I was doing.
Yeah, same. Yeah. It was natural to me since I was like, girl. It's probably the same with you. It just comes.
Most of the time you get it. They say around the age of 5, because before then you'll see them and you'll talk to them and you're playing with them, but there's like a like a development age in a child where you can really start to reason, and that's when you can start to channel.
Yeah, okay. That makes
So they
total
say
sense.
5, but it's going to be different for everyone. Some kids
Yeah.
might be like 8 or 9 before they learn that part.
Yeah, yeah. And then the world, you get busy in school, so you just kind of forget, like you've got to follow the rules of this life.
The world makes you forget it. They don't want you to know that.
No, no. You can go back to that childhood, remember some of those moments, and I guess that's one way of trying to recall it. But I mean, I just asked my spirit guides what I want, and I said, okay, look, I need this. Can you help me develop this skill that I'm seeing I'm lacking? You know, and then like, I got to get rid of some fear because I got to get stronger that way. And then they'll go, okay, I need a tool or I need to know psychic shielding. And then I'm given the psychic shielding. Like I'm given the stuff, you know, it just comes to me. I was like, poof, in my lap. So you got to
And
ask.
that's what they do when you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're living life the way that they want you to, you get help.
Oh,
There's a
yeah,
lot of benefits to this that just, it's not like, oh, I'm a millionaire. Like, I'll never be a millionaire. I didn't choose that path. Some people, that's what they're into, you know, that's fine.
Yeah. I didn't choose that either. I chose this life instead. This is way more exciting for me because we can access so much. Like
it's the level of, see, I'm all about freedom. And the level of freedom you can get with being able to leave your body, it makes up for all the governments telling you can't do anything all day.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, we have that, you know, just talking to your spirit guide. Even if like a lot of people are talking to spirit guides, like I mean, I don't leave my body. Well, I shift into altered state of consciousness, but I don't actually jump out of my body. But that would be fun to do. But yeah, it's the spirit guide communication is so valuable. You have so much freedom, and you've got like people around you to talk to at any point in time. Like it's like I never felt lonely.
The world just doesn't want you to do it because you'll learn how messed up the world is.
Yeah. I remember saying, show me the true reality. And I got a pretty bad image of they were showing me, like, you know, they just like saw this reality, and then above it were these like beings, like these dark beings hovering above it, just observing and changing and coming down to manipulate someone and back up again. I was like, whoa, that was really.
Yeah, and there's a lot of groups doing that.
Groups.
Yeah, there's a lot of groups that do that. Some of it do it for good reasons, some of them not so good. Everybody's like, oh, it's dark versus light, or, you know, God versus the dead. It's not so simple. It's not. Look at all the different realities that people believe in on Earth. Right. And even if you group them all together in as few as possible, you're still at like, what, 1,000 at least. So you got 1,000 different competing realities for Earth. And all of those things have entities attached to them.
Yeah.
So some of these entities will come down to my reality to help me, and some of them will come to my reality to not help me. And they do that all over the place. Basically, anyone that is in tune, you're less likely to get bad attention. Unless the thing that looks after you doesn't, like, is mad at you. The people that are asleep, they're prime real estate. They have no defense, nothing.
No, they're unconscious. That's why it's important to raise your consciousness, to increase your conscious awareness at all costs. Just fight for that. I mean, that's what I've been doing. I believe that is the key to unlocking this. I agree. Like, you have to fight for it. Like, I want more awareness of my thoughts, of my emotions, and I want more control of them. And I don't want it to be manipulated anymore. And really stern with that. Like, I mean,
you got to turn the TV off.
I don't watch TV. I might watch a movie from time to time, but you know.
That's not TV to me, though. Watching TV is like turning on your cable television.
Oh yeah.
Watching your TV on your phone or whatever.
Yeah. No, that's zombified. You're a victim right away. I can see the zapping, the energy zapped from people. I could see it when, you know, one of my friends likes to watch TV, and I was like, when she walks away from that, she's a different person. She looks like a zombie. Like her eyes are glazed over, and I was like, whoa, like this is freaking me out. I was like, ah, really.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's how they keep people asleep. They entertain you so that you don't think about doing anything.
I get so bored of watching TV. I just can't sit still very long. There's no way I could sit there. I get really like, it feels like it's just that strains me. But as well as just to be aware of the thoughts that are, standing next to you. Like, I remember one time a few years ago, I was walking down the street. I had this thought into my mind that I was hungry for pizza. And I was like, I don't eat pizza. Whose thought is this? Like, I was like, and then I got a vision of the nearest pizza shop. And I was like, oh, well, someone's having pizza for lunch, but it's not me. I could just pick it up, You got to be aware, especially the negative ones that come and chit chat in your ear, like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it happens. You just get random thoughts. Pick them up from people, from entities, just like, all right, I don't know where that came from. I'm going to ignore that one.
Yeah, and if you're not consciously aware of those thoughts, and I start people on a thought journal, it's a very basic strategy. Write down a thought journal so that you can see the thought patterns that in your mind you can start to identify, what's happening in there, because you can't do that. You're susceptible.
I mean, yeah, the world has conditioned us to not really think.
Mm-hmm.
They say that we think and we're smart, but they want us to just be parrots and just regurgitate words and information they told us.
Yeah.
That's not real learning to me. That's a good start. We all got to start with the basics, but the world doesn't want you to move past that.
There's so much more expansive than that. Okay. Well, I mean, we've had a long chat, so I'm assuming it's probably should let you go.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah. So is there anything else you want to say? I mean, we've covered a lot of topics. Is there anything else you want to say?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as we covered a lot of topics, so this is my job to edit the whole video. So. Hey, as always, it is such a blessing to have a chat with you. It's amazing to have this advanced knowledge in the world. I mean, I've known you for quite a few years now, and I know it's always spot on. So it gives me such joy to be able to share this with people, because I believe this is going to help them increase their conscious awareness. And that's
if it helps one
important.
person, it's worth it.
It is absolutely. I'm dedicated to that. So thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.